Do you have any sense of how the Amy Coney Barrett nomination will be received and how does it play out from here? Because we're just barely over a month away from the election day. Will it all be wrapped up by then?
Well,
the confirmation, that is.
Technically, it's possible. The process from here is the President nominates a person to fill a vacancy on the Supreme Court. It's then up to the US Senate to provide advice and consent. And the process for that is the Senate Judiciary Committee meets and will ask questions of the nominee. And from that point, the committee will nominate to the full sitting of the Senate to vote on the nominee. At that point, it becomes straight mathematics. Who's got the numbers on the floor of the Senate? Right now, it is the Republicans. They have 53 to 47. And if the numbers played out that way, it should be a relatively straightforward procession for Amy Coney Barrett to take the job. But just to keep things interesting, at least 2 Republican senators have said they don't agree with putting forward a nomination at this time in the electoral cycle. Whether they vote against the nomination or whether they abstain, we won't know until it gets to the floor of the Senate.
It's interesting because I think in a political sense, the logic would say for the Democrats it's probably better that this just goes through and that her nomination be confirmed. But then by the same token, in a judicial sense, for their side of politics, this locks in a more conservative-leaning bench than otherwise would have been the case. The reason I say it would be better that it goes through is that this doesn't become a distraction for the president. He would love to see this knock off, and it says to the evangelicals and others, you're going to have to re-elect me. You're going to have to re-elect me to get this through.
Yeah, look, it's a good point. I'm not sure the Democrats will see it that way. However, I think, they've clearly indicated that no matter who the president nominated, they were going to oppose it in the Senate, simply because they don't think something as important for this as this should be rushed through at this stage immediately prior to a presidential election. So I feel a little sorry for Amy Coney Barrett. I think she's eminently well qualified for this job. She's had an outstanding legal career in private practice as a legal academic and now, of course, as a judge on the US Court of Appeals. She's eminently well qualified, and almost miraculously, she's combined that career while raising 7 children. The Democrats will be very worried about her socially conservative views. She's a practicing Catholic, and I think, based on what we know, she's on the conservative end of the Catholic doctrine. So the Democrats would be worried about her positions on things like abortion rights, and they would be keen that there not be a conservative majority on the Supreme Court at this time.
Mark Watson, National Security Advisor at Bondi Partners, thanks for your analysis, as always.